2024. Thank you.
Okay, Auditor General, I'm sure you have reviewed the responses. Are we good to go?
Thank you, Chair. We are good to go.
Clerk of the Senate.
Chairman, we are good to go. The responses are submitted in good time.
Okay, fine. So we may proceed unless there is any preliminary matter.
Chair, with your permission.
Senator Sifuna.
I was one of the senators who had occasion to visit the Nyandarua County Assembly when the area senator Methu was giving his address. Because I was handled very well, I want to take this opportunity to welcome the members of the County Assembly from Nyandarua to Nairobi and the Senate, and to assure you that I will return the favor during your time in this city. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. I believe they are generally your cousins, but
correct, Chair. These are my relatives.
To give a rider, I happen to be in the County Assembly. I think I was in the team of Sifuna and my good friend Senator Methu. The hospitality was excellent, it was top notch. County Assembly. County Assembly. We are raising the County Assembly. I will never have any interaction with the governor. Of course, first class cousins.
I also happened to be in the Nyandarua County Assembly in 2020 during the address by Mwangi Gidiomi. I can agree that they are good people. And there's a building that was I think the headquarters that had not left the ground. I'm hoping that now it has left the ground.
The Assembly?
No, the
county headquarters.
The headquarters, yeah.
I think let's put it to the test. Chair Public Accounts Committee, have you considered this report of the County Executive of Nyandarua? Because you are the primary overseers, we do the secondary oversight bit. You have I think I've seen the photos of your assembly building. It's nice. I've been around since the time of your first speaker, who did a great job in making the county assembly's forum strong. And we hope that in those nice premises, you are able to do some serious oversight and accountability. So, where are we with this report? Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, we got the report. Although the time we got the report, we were on recess, and we are planning to do it well.
How are you going to do it when the Constitution requires you to consider, debate, and take appropriate action within 3 months, which lapsed on 30th of March?
We have started to plan it, and I promise you within the end of the 3 months, the report will be ready.
When do the 3 months start?
No, we have already started. We have the plan.
Get the question. What the chairman is asking, yes, the Constitution requires you to consider and table your report within 90 days. So he's asking, when does time start to run? Which is your first month under the Constitution for you to consider the reports? That's what the chairman is asking you.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Allow me to take that because our chairman was not around the assembly for quite some time. He had an emergency. Actually, his wife passed away, so he took some time off.
Our condolences.
Yes.
Yeah, you may proceed.
So we received the report on 13th May of this year, and we were on recess. So we just resumed some 2 weeks ago, and the report was assigned to the committee. So we are planning to review it in the next coming 1 month.
Auditor General, you are violating the Constitution if you took the report in May.
Chairman, I want to confirm that all reports to the county governments, to Senate, to National Assembly, and to the county assemblies, all of them were delivered on or before 31st of December 2024.
Why? Because I saw the clerk is present. Because there's a difference between the submission of the report by the OAG of the report and commencement of consideration by the committee. Clerk, was this report brought before 31st of December?
Honorable Chair, I want to confirm the report that I have was received on 13th of May.
Was
Officially, the report that I have was officially received by the clerk on 13th of May.
Received, and you have evidence. For example, here I have Patrick, we may have a problem here because I'm seeing this report was laid on 6th of March. Of course, it's within the 90 days. But how come this came on 6th of March?
Maybe, Chair, let the Auditor General tell us the mode of transmission. How did that report get its way to the County Assembly of Nyandarua? Was it hand-delivered? Was it sent by post? So that we know the truth around this.
Chairman, all reports were hand-delivered.
To who?
To the County Assembly registry.
So, Chair, can we establish?
Was it stamped? See,
Patrick?
we will have to tabling good.
Chairman, when you are saying that sub-reports are not being tabled, so yes, Oji.
Chairman, we want to clarify that the reports were transmitted on or before 31st of December. However, the reports may have been tabled before the main house or committed to the house later on, but from OAG it was 31st of December, Chairman.
Yeah, because this one was signed by the Auditor General on the 27th of December 2024, which is within the constitutional timeline.
Yes, Chair.
But we will need to find out why the tabling was done on 6th of March, outside the constitutional timelines. Nonetheless, we proceeded to consider it and make some recommendations. Vice Chair?
So you're saying it was laid on 6th of March?
2025.
That is within the constitutional timelines, so that is laying in Parliament. But then Parliament receiving it must have been before. That is laying.
Yeah,
my understanding.
Which
is within.
Which you might need to find out, because ideally papers get laid almost immediately they are transmitted to Parliament. So those would be our internal considerations. But I'm concerned if the County Assembly got theirs in May, in the month of May. Because May, Governor, there are a lot of bad things in this report. A lot of bad things. But the people who did the bad things can go to court and say that the report came outside the constitutional timelines. Someone did that in Nairobi and secured a judgment that said that audit reports considered outside the statutory timelines are null and void. So OAG, you might put us in that situation. At least Parliament has already discharged that, because we brought our report on 27th of March, and it is that report that the Governor is responding to today. But the County Assembly does not seem to have had the opportunity to consider this report within the constitutional timelines.
Chairman, but the reports were delivered on or before 31st of December. I want to get you the exact date in a moment, Chairman.
I want to believe, Auditor, that when you transmit them, there's a place that the Assembly signs. If you can get that evidence, then that would really help us in a way of moving forward. And the Governor, when did you receive your reports?
Chair, I want to appreciate the honorable members who have visited our county. They have gone to Assembly, and I can assure you, even our executive is also as good as the Assembly, so you are welcome. We received our report the early days of January, so it's possible the Auditor General may have delivered them at that time, because ours we received them at that time, the first 2 weeks of January. So maybe there was a hitch in communicating the assembly.
Okay, thank you for your acknowledgement. And we are saying this also to help our members of county assembly, because we might be assuming that you are sleeping on the job, and yet you didn't have a job to do until May. I've looked at the letter transmitting the report. The letter was dated 31st of December, but surprisingly received in May. I don't know, in this era of very speedy communication, I wonder how it took 5 months for that acknowledgement. Patrick.
Chairman, this was an extraordinary year for us. I remember the reports going to the coast region, Kisumu, and other far-flung areas. Chairman, we had, when we chartered planes to deliver those reports.
And Nyandarua, there was no place for your plane to land.
Chairman, I want to confirm the report was delivered on that last day. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, so I think this we can take up with the Assembly, because they are not the ones under scrutiny today, but we just wanted to find out whether you have had occasion to go through this report. You are telling us it came to you in May. It is outside the constitutional timelines. So what are you going to do? Chairman, what's your plan before we give you advice, or any member of your committee?
Thank you, Chair. The advice that we got from our clerk is the 3 months, we started counting them from the 13th of May, but we received it, let me just make it clear, it was received in the Assembly on 13th of May, but it was assigned to the committee 2 weeks ago when we resumed from the recess.
Senior Counsel, you could advise the Assembly on how to treat time, particularly.
Okay, I think, Chair, it's good for the Assembly to visit, because you can also use this opportunity for capacity building. Yeah, so Madam Clerk, the 90 days, you have to consider the Auditor General's report starts to run from 1st of January. So you have 1st of January to 31st of March to consider the report and table it before the County Assembly. If you do it after 31st of March, you are offending the Constitution. So next year there is no New Year celebration. You start work in January, consider the report and table it in the Assembly before 31st of March.
Could you explain to them why we are having this meeting today on 17th of June? Because they might wonder, we are telling them 31st of March and here we are in June.
We already considered the report, tabled it before the Senate, and secured a resolution to do follow-up meetings on unresolved issues. That's why we are doing this meeting today.
Yeah, Chair, in addition, the Senate, through this committee, made certain recommendations. Most of the conversation today is going to be implementation or follow-up on those recommendations that the Senate made. You guys are lucky you only have one audit report to deal with. We had to deal with 47 of them, and we still beat that deadline. I remember our chair moving that business on the 31st of March. We actually had to have a special sitting of the Senate yeah, and I think they were for how many financial years, Chair?
3 years.
Yeah.
Each county had about 3 reports.
Yeah, some counties had 3 reports, others had 1. So you can imagine, you guys only have to deal with one every 1 financial year. You must make special arrangements for you to be able to comply with that. And Chair, I just want to say that I've heard the governor claiming that the hospitality of the executive is just as good as the Assembly. But you know, Governor, you are one of the few governors who we don't know each other. I don't know, he comes to this committee when I'm not here or what, because I don't remember seeing you, Governor, since I was elected as the Senator of Nairobi. So I cannot attest to your hospitality, because even when we were there, we didn't see you. We didn't see you when we were there. So we have, the way you have tested the assembly, we want to test the county government as well, Chair.
Yeah, and testing him will be through consideration.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about test with a TAST. Because we've been told about the dangers of engaging in eating food from Nyandarua. We have heard that your potatoes are harming the people of Nairobi. Governor, I hope you will speak to that. And whether that issue has now been resolved. Are my people safe? The people of Nairobi. We are the biggest consumers of waru from Nyandarua.
Yeah, and Senator Sifuna, when Engineer Karue was the senator for Nyandarua, I accompanied him to Nyandarua on a visit when he wanted to come up with a law on potatoes. And I thought it was very progressive, only for the then majority leader in the National Assembly, Duale, to say that the Senate is so idle that they're just discussing potatoes. They didn't know that that was an important economic activity in Nyandarua. So we shall continue talking about potatoes, despite that. And so Senator Sifuna's question is not idle as well. As a serious consumer of KFC, he needs to be sure that it's safe. So we put the governor to the test through consideration of this report. The Assembly, I think our final advice is, despite those constitutional provisions, I think go through this report. If someone feels aggrieved, let them go to court. You will deal with it at that point in time. Because you cannot say that these 200 pages should be wasted because of those timeline issues. I think there's a letter of the law and then there's a spirit of the law. The letter requires us to do certain things within a certain time. But the spirit and other sections of the Constitution gives you the mandate to oversight resources in the county government of Nyandarua. So just strike that balance. Let your legal team advise you. I know the people who will go to court are the thieves who are going to be indicted in this report. So do your bit so that you can be as neat as the buildings and the premises that you occupy.